Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of El Jefe's Chop Shop. So today we're going to be pulling the Chevy chassis out of the shed. We're going to dive into the Is300 wiring, thinning out what we don't need. So it's been a few days since I filmed anything, but we've moved the Lexus half cut into the shed, cleaned the shed up. Now I've moved the c30 out, borrowed Dad's Ranger. Going to pull this c30 chassis out of the shed. So the front half of the Lexus is there. And yesterday I had a big clean up, pulled all this stuff out of the shed, washed the floor, I just hosed it out, and then moved all this stuff back in a sort of organised fashion, so at least it's a bit tidier. So now we're just going to pull the C30 chassis out the front with the Ranger, put the Lexus front cut in this back corner, and then put the seal back in where the Lexus is at the moment, and then we'll have all this free space here, and I can bring some of my tools from the other house. So let's see how this goes. So you can sort of see the Chev's chassis in the mirror here. Sorry, it's a bit shaky, I'm zoomed in. And I'm just going to pull this, I've already pulled the strap tight. Hopefully just walk it out of the shed. Or into the shed probably. So it's rolling okay. The brakes are jammed on the chassis, so it's not too happy about it. I might just stop there and have a look. So I just jumped out to have a look. It's coming out on an angle, but that's okay, it's not going to hit the shed. So I'll just keep going and pull the rest of it out of the chassis, out of the shed. Rest of the chassis out of the shed. So we're there. So I'll just back up a little bit. You can see the cute little seal and the chassis out of the shed. So I'll just jump out. Zoom out for you. So the strap a little loose, so I'm going to do that. And the chassis is out of the shed. So I've done this so that I can take the wheels off. I've got some more wheels coming in the next week or so, and the brakes are all sticking at the moment, so I've got to pull them apart and clean them and get it so it rolls nicely again. That's pretty much the first step. Otherwise it's just a big paperweight. So it's a 1977 or 78 dual cab, dual wheel C30. It was imported from the States and then right hand drive converted for Australia. It's been imported and approved, but it's never been registered, so I might have an issue with it later down the track, but we'll soon find out. So it's got the big massive disc brakes on the front, about 30mm wide, and they're just huge for the 70s. There's a big C-channel chassis. There's a bunch of crap on the back of it, but massive tow bar on it as well, which is just insane. But yeah, that's the beginnings of the Dodge project. So back in the shed now, you can see these are the boards for the new gate. There's a few things lying around, so now we get this, wait for the camera to adjust, there you go. This front cut over to behind me, so I've got a frame under the front with 2 fixed wheels and 2 swivel wheels, and then just a jack on the back. So it's a bit of a pain, but it will happen. So I'll move all these boards out of here, and I'll get the Lexus over there, and then I'll update you from there. So I've got the front cut moved to the back of the shed, put it on some cinder blocks for now, and I just hosed off the floor, which looks really nice when it's wet and a bit shit when it's dry. So just going to move all this crap out of the way and tidy up, and then put all the tools that are in here and in the house back in the shed, and put the seal back in to its home. And then pack up a bit more, and then we'll see where we go. So it's been about a week since I've filmed anything. I've been moving house, so we've got a lot of the tools in here, all of the stuff out of the house. We got a dog from the other house. This is Harley. He's cute little, I think he's 6 or 7. And then the Chev chassis, I've started pulling things off of it, so I've taken all the wheels off, all the fuel tanks, the exhaust, the tail shaft, the brake lines, the fuel lines, pretty much anything and everything I'm not going to use right this second. Been filling trailers up with rubbish, and the house is pretty much moved in now. So just made sure that these wheels all spin freely. So I had to take the brake pads out of here, and then did that on the other side as well. And with the back, sorry my shadow's in the way, with the back I had to pull the drums off, which was a matter of pulling these bolts out here, slide the whole axle out, and then I was trying to release the brake adjustment, but it was all rusted shut, so I had to keep hitting that while I'm prying it, and then fill it with WD-40 and gain like a centimetre, and then spray it with WD-40 again. So I did that on this side and on the other side, so they both work, will both spin, no worries, but the brakes are right there obviously, so I have to replace those afterwards. But this seems to have a locker of some kind in it. So if I spin the tail shaft, that one's spinning forwards, and that one is also spinning forwards, so it's got some kind of locker in it. Apparently it's got a true track Eaton. Not sure how much truth's in that, but we'll see. So I've just been cleaning up. I got the wheels off, like I said. This is all the other crap. So I'm not going to throw anything out just yet until I've worked out exactly what I'm needing to keep, but I'm going to salvage the mufflers anyway, even if I don't use them on the Chev. So it's all coming together. The chassis is all degreased and all cleaned and all stripped out, so it's all ready to start building up again, I guess. So I got the wheels that I've ordered are another week or so away, so I'll probably put the old wheels back on it and just move it out of the way for now because it's right in the middle of the driveway. But as you can see, I got a nice big backyard for a shed at a later date, and a happy puppy. So back in here we've got the Siora in its house, the M's bike got from the other house, and just a whole bunch of crap from the Lexus. So I'm pretty much done with the Chev for now. Not really sure what the next step is. I'll put some wheels on it, move it out of the way. So I've put the old wheels back on the Chev. I've put the rears on the front because they're the smallest diameter and they actually hold air. And then mismatch ones on the back. Got the trailer that's sitting on the tow ball so it doesn't get in the way. That trailer's been emptied, my mate's picking that up tomorrow. This is the gate that I need to build, but that's not happening until next week now because the electrician's not coming. And then I've got this mess, which I started last night. So this mess is what's left of the Is300 wiring loom. I've removed all of this. That's mainly tape and speakers. And then this is all the airbag stuff, the stereo amplifier, the mirrors, pretty much everything that I don't need. All this stability control stuff. That's all the wires that I've removed, and that's all the coatings. All the covers and conduit and stuff over the top. So as you can see, there's quite a lot I've taken out. But when you look back at it, it looks like I've done absolutely nothing. Let's give you a rundown of what's left. So we've got the one tail light, the other tail light. That's the stability control sensor from the rear, which I need to remove still. And then coming down the line, we've got the receiver for the key, and then a couple of blanks which are just like junction boxes. Coming back up this way, we've got the fog lights from the rear, the two number plate lights. I've deleted that's the brake light from the spoiler, which I forgot about, and I've deleted all of the boot lock, all the mechanism for the automatic popping, and the interior light for the boot and all that sort of stuff. So coming back along here, we've got some more junction boxes, the rear left ABS sensor, the rear right ABS sensor, then that's the lamp failure for when you blow a headlight. I may have got those two boxes around the wrong way, but we'll see. And then go back this way, that's the demister box. Coming along here, that's the alarm siren, which has the plug's been crushed on that when it was in an accident, so I have to try and work the wiring out on that one. Coming back along here, we've got one of the fuel sender units, so to tell you how full your tank is. Coming back around here, we've got the fuel pump and the other sender. So when this sender's maxed out and that sender's maxed out, the gauge on the cluster reads full. If only one of them's up, it only reads at half, which is quite interesting, I thought. Coming over here, we've got the right hand side rear door. We've got the window winder motor, the switch, and the door lock, which I can't get working. And coming this way, back into the main loom, and a bunch of garbage, which is all labelled now, into the front door. So I've got the master switch, the door opening light, which I've worked out how to earth that, so that's good. The lock, which is also not working, and the window motor, which is working. If we come back around the other side, got the rear left door, motor, switch, door lock, and the front. So lock, motor, the interior light, and the switch. So I've deleted the light switches from the back and deleted the dimmer, like the door open light from the back doors, because I won't be needing those. So I've still got the sensor here for the front doors, and I've deleted the rear ones. So I just want to test to make sure the things I need still work. So put the key in, the gauge still works. You can see that the fuel gauge still works, the volt gauge still works. Got plenty of lights, that's good. So coming over here, we've got the climate control still. Get out of the way. So this still clicks on, and you can still hear the relays working. And if you do change this from different settings, you can actually see up here. You can see the arms moving, so that seems to still work. That's good. So if you still change from reverse cycle to fresh air, you can see this flap up here still moves, selecting which setting you need, so that's good. And if you turn this up, the blower motor still works. Turn that to off. If you turn this up in the heat, you can actually hear the servo moving. I'm not sure if you're able to hear it on the camera. So that's good. Means everything seems to be working. As you can see, we've still got the temperature gauge working, and the clock still works, and the hazard lights still operate. No worries, as best as they were anyway. We've got one light on the back. So turn that off and move to the next thing. So I'll just tip the column back over the correct way, and just want to test the wipers, which are throwing smashed glass everywhere. That's a good start. And then the indicators, you can see it's blinking fast because there's a few globes missing, but that seems to work, no worries. And turn the headlights on, you can see that the rear lights come on, which is good. And the front is all disconnected, so there's no lights up the front. Another feature that's still working is if you have the door switch and you earth it as if the door was open, the light comes on obviously, but also the key illuminates, so you can find the key when you're in the dark, which is cool. Moving on to things that don't work. The power windows are only working from their own switch, so the master switch in my hand operates the driver's door. That's fine. But the passenger door doesn't work. The rear doors don't work. The locks aren't working. The window lock, you can hear a relay trigger, but other than that, it's not doing anything. So moving on to the back door, this is the driver's side rear switch, and that's the motor. You can see that works, no worries. So I know it's getting power and I know that it's working, but something between the front switch and the rear switch, there must be a wiring issue, must be broken wire or not earthed or no power or something along those lines. So I'll have to sort that out. I haven't tested outside of the car is the roof lining and everything it's attached to. So if I turn the key on, you can see that the LED on the bottom of the mirror lights up. So I can only assume that that's working. And the visors have a light in them which turns on and off, which is nice. I'd like to keep that working if I can. The interior light for the front interior light works, no worries, but this one doesn't want to work in any position, so I'll have to sort that out later. So as you can see, a few issues emerged from fitting out the wiring. This was expected as all of the different systems talk to each other. Like I said at the beginning, if it doesn't work when we've transplanted everything, I'll just use the motors, the lights, the wipers, all that sort of stuff, and run my own wiring. Use the original switches and just make it all work with my own setup rather than trying to get it all to talk to each other, because it's just going to be a pain in the ass, I think. But if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then that's just part of it. I'm not too fussed. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next episode.